The key concept as we approach the eschaton is boundary dissolution. 500 years ago, half A of the planet discovered half B. There was a boundary dissolution. Then, sailing vessels, steamships, telegraphy, air flight, radio, television. What's happening is boundaries are being dissolved. Information is beginning, the planet is shrinking to a point, is what's happening. When the planet becomes a point, in a sense, we all are everywhere. That is the exteriorization of the soul. In other words, everywhere is here. What is not here is nowhere. And that seems to be where all this technology and novelty is pushing us. And if that's where we're going, then it will not stop until we achieve it. And what does it mean? I think it means we're inventing omnipotence. We, who began as the mud of a warm pond 1 billion years ago, actually dream of deity. And Plato was onto this game 2,500 years ago. He said, if God does not exist, man will invent him. What we're doing is we're building a nervous system. We're building a nervous system the size of this planet. And we're doing it fast. It's essentially a siren. We're building a siren which calls the resources of future humanity, millions and millions of years in the future, into the late 20th century or early 21st century historical situation. Nobody's begun to tell the people about this. The people thought, well, if we get used to the internet, maybe it will stop. No. The internet is nothing compared to what's coming. That whether you're a horrified pessimist or a gung-ho optimist, everybody can see that the make or break point is coming up. We had to abandon the naivete of alchemy to achieve its goals, which were mastery of space and time. Well, at the center of the alchemical ideal was the idea of the stone, something part mineral, part mental, part spiritual, something drawn out of nature, but perfected by human artifice, and then reflecting back upon man a perfect world created through magic. In other words, what would we do if we could do anything? The implication of that, carried to its ultimate extreme, leads to a conclusion most people find too wild to entertain. If the universe is evolving deeper and deeper into complexity, faster and faster, that more change will happen in a single week than happened in the previous 13 billion years. The planet will be empty of anything appearing to be human life. I mean, the planet will be empty. We're going elsewhere. It's not clear exactly where elsewhere is, but that's where we're going. You know, most people think that when you get to be, 30, 35, 40 or something, you have jumped all the hurdles. You got your college degree, you had some children, you made some money, you lost some money, maybe you had a marriage, maybe you had several. And anyway, people sort of get the feeling, well, I've done it. Actually, the major adventure still lies ahead. there is a third eye. The third eye exists, but it doesn't look out at this world. You've got two perfectly good eyes for doing that. The third eye looks out at the holographic matrix of informational totality. What we have been calling human consciousness is the only consciousness there is. It's something you tap into, not something you evolve out of yourself. And the thing to do is to realize that you're not being borne along on the current of some kind of inevitable thing where you're embedded in it like a raisin in bread. You're able to steer. The magical ideal is the idea that humanity is somehow the co-partner in creation, and that what God has brought into being, the human imagination can perfect, that there's some kind of an attractor, that events are not just bubbling forward probabilistically and randomly, but that they're actually caught in some kind of field that is pulling everything toward a conclusion. What will it really be? Well, I don't know. It's our child. It's all emerging from us. I think we're going to get the answer to the question, is man good? We dragged ourselves out of the sea of telepathic interconnected signification that united all life, and we exist panting and pop-eyed in this other dimension called history, ego awareness, presence of self, sense of loss, anticipation of gain, all of these dimensions that culture is an imprisoning bubble of interlocking assumptions that are like a collective hallucination. I mean, I hate to say it because it's a recursive metaphor, but culture is like a delusion. This isn't just happening. This is all being scripted.